Ishe Smith, former IBF junior middleweight champion. You know, you're back at the gym. Camp has started again, man. Tell me your thoughts about 2014. What do you want this year?
Well, you know, number one is to rectify the horrible performance on, September 14th.
Okay.
I think, it wasn't my best performance. A lot of stuff going on leading up to the fight, and then, with Eddie being having to happen before the fight. Just a lot of stuff going on, and I know it wasn't my best performance, but maybe performing like that to have somebody actually want to fight me now.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Now, just looking back at that performance, do you take it just as a learning lesson? I mean, how long did it take to get over that?
It was a while because I felt like I let one go. As an athlete, all the great athletes, you never want to let one go. And I felt like I let one slip away. It was nothing special he did. I don't think, I've been on the B side of things before. I've had to go in other people's hometown and try to beat them, and wasn't successful doing that. And some people have said they thought I won certain fights throughout my career. And I don't think he came here and took my title. Okay. Yeah, let's make that clear. I don't think he came. You have to take a championship title. I don't think he did that, but the judges thought he did it, and they gave him the victory. And now I just have to pick myself up and climb back to the top like I've done before.
Okay, now 154 pounds. In the past you've been a type of fighter. It's been hard maybe to get fights. You've called for these names for a while. What's your thoughts now on getting that ideal opponent in the mix? Who do you want to fight? I mean, what do you want?
You have to look at certain guys in the division. You have to look at guys like Trout. Guys like that. Guys like Lara, who aren't in the mix of things, but who can possibly, I may be able to get fights with them. That's something to look at, and then obviously to rectify the situation with the rematch.
So in your heart, you feel you're better than Carlos Molina?
Oh, definitely. I had an off night. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of stuff leading up to that fight. I don't make excuses. I'm not gonna sit up here and make an excuse and go into detail about all the things that went wrong. But ultimately, I'm giving an opinion, and my opinion is he didn't do enough to beat me. And if you ask me, do I think I did enough to win some of the fights that when I had to go to other people's hometown? Yes, I thought I did enough to beat Fernando, but I was on the B side of things, and I had a good time. That I was able to talk to Fernando probably about 6 months ago, and shook his hand and said good job against Kid Chocolate and all of that. But those are just certain fights that I felt I did enough to win. But,
okay.
That's just that.
What do you think of the Erislandy Lara? He beat Austin Trout. Did you expect him to win that fight so convincingly?
No, I didn't. I thought it would be more competitive. I thought Trout would put up a better fight than he did, but who knows? It was a good fight for Lara. Lara did what he had to do. I'm not overly impressed with Lara. This is the same guy that was almost knocked out against Angulo. Angulo. I think he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's nothing special. And he turned me down before as well when I was gonna fight him in 2012. He turned me down. So that's just like I said, maybe this situation can get me more fights, bigger fights. The Charlo brothers call out everybody in their mama and daddy, but they have yet to prove anything to anyone. So I'm really interested to see what one brother does against
Rosado. What do you think of that fight?
I think Rosado gonna beat him. He hasn't fought nobody. The bad thing about Rosado is he calls himself the people's champion, which a lot of people respect him. I respect him as well. The bad thing is he be in these fights, but then when you go to the scorecards are so fucked up that the fights don't even be close. And us as fans, we looking at it like, man, these fights are close and they're competitive, but then he may get cut, they stop the fight, and then the fights don't even be close. And I feel for him on that. But I think he got a very good chance to beat the one brother and
Charlo. Yeah.
Jamel, and I don't, you know, there's talk of maybe Molina
against the other brother.
Other brother, and you know, I don't know how they can jump. You know, Molina's champ, they can jump 14 or 13 spots, but you know, it's politics. It is what it is. So I don't know if the other brother's good enough to beat Molina either. I just don't know those things.
What do you think about Canelo? You know, you mentioned Angulo. He's fighting Canelo. What are your thoughts on that fight and maybe the winner, just either guy? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think Canelo is going to beat him. I don't think. I think Angulo probably gets hit a little bit too much, and it's going to be a very tough fight for him. And Canelo still is a good fighter. You can't go off his performance based on Floyd. Floyd is the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, the best of this generation. So you can't base it off that. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Angulo. I really do. And if I had to pick right now, I would pick Canelo.